Hey, welcome to Eye on the Ball here on 10:30 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. I have an unusual show today. I guarantee it's an unusual show today.
Go easy now.
I have a good friend and my financial backer, Mike Kwinn, and his buddy Jim Sowers.
Sowers, yeah.
Sowers.
Yeah.
Jim is in town to visit Mike. Not to visit Mike.
Oh yeah, not to visit.
Not to visit Mike,
it's like,
but to ride an El Tour de Tucson, and he'll be doing it uniquely on a unicycle.
there you go.
I think so.
I saw you're a basketball player too with the unicycle.
That's my main thing is unicycle basketball. We play 5-on-5.
What in the world inspired you to do that?
I love basketball, but you get older, the knees aren't holding up, and I heard about it. I just turned 44, and I wound up getting involved and forming a team. We won the national championship several times. Now, that's not that big of a deal. There's only a few teams that compete. But the world championships are very competitive, and we did get second place in Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that was 15 years ago? How many years ago?
No. Worlds was 10 years ago. But here's a little side note of trivia. For many years, the dominant unicycle basketball team was from Puerto Rico. And I just was in Puerto Rico this summer for the 50th anniversary of unicycling in Puerto Rico, and they had a unicycle basketball tournament.
Yeah. Bring your mic closer to you only because.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's cool. So what made you decide to do this?
Well, I don't know how much your listeners know about Mike's foundation, but
Yes, please.
Okay, so Mike and his wife Bridget, their son developed brain cancer, and even before he passed, his son had encouraged Mike to try to do something for other folks. And so they formed this foundation, Friends for Michael. And as a result, they have helped over 3,000 families around the U.S.
Over 3,200 families, yeah.
So, and Mike had done a number of marathons. I'm not a marathoner, and I hadn't been able to do anything. And I was doing a different charity ride, and I called Mike after that, and I said, I want to do something for you. And he said, I know. El Tour. And then I looked and I said, well, okay, if I'm going to do it, I got to do the 100-mile option. So, yeah.
It's go big or go home.
You know, if we're trying to bring some attention to it, it should be big.
So. That's a big task. I mean, even for people on on double, obviously. So what's the longest you've ever driven or ridden?
I actually did 101 miles like 6 years ago. But I was 6 years younger, and I have since torn my ACL and mangled my meniscus, so I've recovered for the most part, but I'm not the man I once was. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to get this done in under the 10 hours.
Jim, none of us are the man we used to be. Right, Mike?
Yeah, that's talking from you, Steve.
Sure.
I remember the man you used to be, and that's not a bad thing.
So for some, it's an improvement, right?
Exactly.
Get out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the end of my interview. Thank you for playing, Mike.
Wah, wah. So, have you been to Tucson a few times?
Years ago, but I've never cycled here. And I'm literally, I asked Mike, hey, could you go check out the course? And he said, it's a road. So, that's so I'm literally riding the course sight unseen. So
this Mike, hey, you want to go for pizza? I've had one.
Just come out and do this.
Making you some money.
Don't make me work hard.
Yeah. So are you taking him in the morning? 7 in the morning?
Yeah, bright and early. Yeah, we're going to.
Are you sticking around? I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
You buying breakfast?
Yeah, it'll be great. I'll buy breakfast again.
Again.
Won't be the last time. So I'll be taking him out there and trying to provide support on the course. I was going to ride with him, but
it's like, right, you were.
Yeah,
he was going to ride with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. No, that's fantastic. You're going to get there, and you're going to be among. Well, you saw it today because you were there picking up your packet. What did you think about the sea of people?
Well, it's impressive. Like I knew it was a pretty big event, but I had no idea. I've been reading this 10,000 participants.
Well, just over 6,000. We have another few thousand doing indoor stuff.
Oh, okay.
So 6,000, but it's going to be about 4,000 at the 100 mile. Then we have a 70. Then we have a 50 mile, and then we have a 25 miles. So the rest are dispersed.
Yeah.
And then we have a kid fun ride, which is about 800,000.
I was going to do that.
Yeah, I think you were, weren't you?
Yeah, I could do the
bring the
kid
girls
fun
out.
run, yeah.
Bring the girls out and
Yeah.
enjoy it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it because someone's done it before on a unicycle.
Yeah, actually.
Did someone tell you that?
Well, so I the unicycling community's relatively small, so I checked in. Hey, does anybody know unicyclists in Tucson? And there's a guy, Andy Moore, who is maybe 2 years my junior, and I guess he did it 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, before my time.
And he also did the 100. He had a slightly bigger wheel, and he told me that but when he did it was 112 miles.
Yeah, because it's been much longer than this. Yeah. So have you ever tried this?
Have I ever tried unicycling? Yeah. I mean, so Jim dabbled in it when we were in high school, and so when we went to parties in high school, he'd bring it along, and after a few Kool-Aids, we'd
for the girls, we'd
try it. Yeah. That's the way he picked up chicks, and So I tried it. I mean, yeah. I have no sense of balance.
It requires talent.
Yeah, it's like I can barely walk straight.
Enough said.
Yeah,
enough said. So obviously, is there a secret to it? There's always a secret to some things, and that has to be a secret.
Well, so I kind of have my pet speech on this because I've had people run up, let me try it. Then they try to get on and, this is impossible. But the thing is, you have to remember when you learn to ride a bicycle, right? Most of us were kids. We either had a parent or somebody running next to us, or we had, training wheels. It still took some time. So unicycling actually doesn't take that much longer, but it's not just because you can ride a bike, you can then jump on a uni or it's going to feel impossible. It takes a little bit of time. You need a flat surface. You go to a basketball court or a tennis court, something that's very flat, grab onto a fence.
Yeah.
So the secret, honestly, is persistence, because I've taught a lot of people to ride, and some people kind of have natural talent, and then they start to get going. But the ones that actually wind up getting good or sometimes they don't naturally have it, but they stick with it.
Persisting. No, and that's kind of like how Mike plays golf.
Just sticks with it, huh?
Sticks with it.
Sticks with it.
Complains. Could you imagine playing golf?
Yeah, the only difference is that you don't stop every 15-20 minutes and get another beer.
Right.
Right. Well, the other thing is you as I see you do with the unicycles, you sit up straight.
Yeah.
I mean, you sit up very erect, so you're kind of a little more balanced.
Yeah, in terms of comparing it to a bike, I would say, bicycling is literally the most efficient form of travel in terms of mass moved per calorie burn. Unicycling isn't, but I would say I probably burn 3x or do 3 times the amount of work because A, I don't have the number of gears that a bike has. B, when I get to the top of a hill, then I also have to use my legs to brake going down a hill. So it's just a lot more work. Those are kind of the disadvantages. The advantages, I do get to sit up straight, so it's not a strain on my neck. And I also have a brake. So it's kind of a layer cake of skills because, again, if you're on a bike and you hit the brakes, unless you just slam the front brake, you're not going to lose your balance and fall over. But on a unicycle, as soon as you hit the brake, you're being propelled forward. And as soon as you let go of the brake, the wheel wants to shoot out from under you. So you also have to learn how to feather the brake while you ride.
Let's take a break. You lost me at going up a hill.
Oh, sorry.
This is physical exertion of Steve. Right
yes, dealing with Mike. I'm emotionally exhausted right now. We'll take a break here at 10:30 The Voice. Hey, welcome back to 10:30 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. You like the music? This is right up your alley, guys.
Yeah,
high school stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's like like we're back in back at high school parties.
My musical tastes have changed over the years.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. He's a DJ for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you do, really?
Well, it's one of the things I do. It doesn't pay the bills.
Nothing does. Look
I
at me.
DJ at clubs.
Yeah, right.
Look at me. I needed my boy Mike to adopt me.
Yeah.
I still do.
He DJs African music, right?
African, Caribbean, Latin,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
teach
cool.
salsa.
Cool.
He's an interesting guy.
Jack of all trades,
He's a
master of
unicycle.
none.
Of course, he's a.
Yeah. Well, and he's a lawyer. I mean, by trade, he's a lawyer. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I got this problem. We'll talk after.
Yeah. Exactly.
See what happens?
I'm trying to push your agenda.
So you're here till when? Sunday?
Or Monday, yeah.
Out
probably.
of where? Out of LA?
Oakland, California.
Oakland. Oh yeah.
Raiders.
Stay a week.
Warriors.
Oh, that's
But
why.
see
you
what
were-
happened to them because
Yeah.
they left. They left us. They went to San Francisco, and
Oh,
it's
really?
karma.
Yeah. Well, Mike knows I'm a big Warrior fan because
Yeah,
of
he's
Kerr and the
big
guys.
Warrior,
yeah.
yeah.
Have a lot of stuff from them in my house, and
Yeah.
it's you can't be good looking all your life.
Yeah.
They'll
right.
regroup. It's kind of like the problems I have.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
well, there's a bad year.
Something
Bad
will
year.
happen.
Someday.
Something will happen.
How's that run though? That's not a bad run you guys had.
It was fun, and
Yeah.
I actually I crashed the Warriors parade on my unicycle. Had some fun with that.
Oh, did you?
Because we do unicycle basketball. I can dribble around. And
Oh yeah.
do tricks.
You
and
must
stuff.
love attention, Jim. Does he have attention?
Yeah, a little bit. A little
Hey,
bit. I
look
mean,
at me.
you're not. You look at his unicycle. I mean, his unicycle by itself, and then his helmet, and he rides a unicycle. Yeah, he doesn't blend in the
No,
background.
I honestly, I wish that we could get more people, especially older people, to ride unicycles.
Oh,
It's
you
really good for your core, and
What's older people?
over 40.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I am there.
Yeah,
I am there.
Yeah,
No,
you
come
are.
on. In fact, we did a story. I did a story, and so did the Daily Star. John Gold, maybe 2 days ago, he did some story on 20. We had 23 80-year-olds
Yeah.
in the event.
I saw that.
Did you read the story?
I did.
It was a great lead.
Yeah,
They don't want to break records. They just don't want to break their hip.
Yeah,
exactly. That was good.
Fantastic lead.
That was good. There was an article in the New York Times a while ago. So everybody knows that, like men, we lose like 1% of our muscle mass per year.
I started when I was 2.
I was gonna say it's like Steve started at 3%, and he's like negative at this point.
But the other thing you lose is balance. You always hear about people falling and
Sure,
breaking
sure.
their hips. So they did an article in the New York Times, and one of the things that really helps balance is dancing, because you
Yeah,
move random, and it's really good for your brain. Of course, they didn't mention, because it's obviously a very out there rare thing, but unicycling, same thing. You're doing random
Mhm, mhm.
movements, good for your brain. I really learned at 44.
I was going to say, you're an exception because that's a little old for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you learned stuff, like you said, when you were a kid, and you...
I learned it briefly. I rode for maybe 6 months, and then I didn't touch a unicycle for 30 years. And it's not like getting on a bike. I had to completely relearn.
And you did this on a whim? What was it again?
Well, I went to a wedding, and this woman at the wedding was talking about how next week she's going to do acro yoga and this and that, and unicycle basketball and underwater basket weaving. And I was like, wait, what was that one? Unicycle
She said
basketball?
she had to be cute, right?
Yeah, she was.
And then I thought, how
But
could I figure this
That's
out?
not why I went. I was at that wedding with a girlfriend.
Who's no longer the girlfriend?
No longer in the picture.
You guys, is this why I'm on this show?
Exactly.
There's no other reason but to pass the time, dude. Come on, Jim. So no, that's gonna be fun. You're gonna be among a lot of cyclists. Like I say, about 4,000. If you're well, you're just a normal. You're gonna be middle of the pack, probably.
Well, so if there's any cyclists listening to the show, the only thing I ask is don't get too close behind. I was in this thing called the Cape Argus. It's the biggest one-day cycling event in the world in
Mhm.
South Africa. 40,000 people.
Oh, really?
I got taken out twice on that because people came up behind me, buzzed me really close, and I wound up going down. So,
Wow. And you
yeah.
finished? Did you finish?
oh yeah,
You were not hurt?
two sharks. You know what in the sea? Of course, I finished
I'm trying to figure what they do in the sea. So,
everything.
like I told you, you start at 7. You're going about 10, 11, 12 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You're going to try to boogie faster.
Yeah.
Because
I'll take probably a number of short breaks, and then maybe like at the 50, 60 mile mark, I'll probably take 15 or 20 minutes
Mhm.
to see how I'm doing.
What's your projected raise in terms of money?
That depends on our listenership.
I'm asking for a friend.
We set a target of $2,500, and I've got to go home and post on Facebook. I figure if I can get 250 people to sponsor me
10
cents,
bucks.
10 cents a mile,
Uh-huh.
100 miles,
Yeah.
$10. Then I hit the goal.
Yeah,
So
that's the attorney in you, kind of.
Yeah, the
divide by
analysis.
5, 67. Yeah, okay.
Break down the analysis.
Yeah, per hour. I had a divorce. Yeah, I get that.
No, but
find me.
No,
What'd you do?
No.
Sports writer can do that math in his head.
Yes, it's a Quinella type 6. Yeah, trifecta.
Yeah. It's like,
Trifecta.
let's see if he hits 3 threes, then that's carry the 1.
Who's your daddy? Come on, Papa needs a new pair of shoes.
Exactly.
7.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So, welcome to Tucson. We're going to talk
Thank
about
you.
sports. Mike's he's a ticket holder at U of A. Good luck with that, Mike.
Yeah,
Football, basketball. We're going to talk more about that. But
Good.
You must be a longtime fan. Were you a fan of Mike's? Because how good was he in high school?
He was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, if only this was TV,
It's
you
on
could see
YouTube.
my facial
Exactly.
We got it
expression.
on YouTube. We got it on YouTube.
TV.
He was a pretty good athlete.
Yeah.
He was.
Went on to play at Army.
He did.
Yeah. Not basketball.
Well, it turns out we used to shoot around a lot when we were kids, and we revisited, and it's the same result as it's always been.
Yeah.
Kicked his butt in the horse twice right before he got
Okay,
here.
So he finally beat me in horse.
Beat him like a
It's I just
red-headed
I'm coming off
stepchild.
knee surgery.
Oh,
he finally
the
beats me in horse.
excuses, the litany. You should work for the U of A.
Excuses.
I'm just kidding.
I just want to say how much it means to me that buddy of mine that I've had here for 40 some odd years that he'll come out here and raise money for my son and raise awareness for my son's foundation. It really does matter. It is a big deal. It's a challenge, and only someone as crazy as Jim would take it on. So thanks,
Right.
buddy.
You're most
And
welcome.
totally, because I should know this. You've helped more than 3,500 kids.
3,322 kids in all 50 states.
Given how much?
We've given over $3 million.
Mhm.
We raised over $3 million, and it's been good. We honor my son. He passed away back in 2003 at age 14. But
It was just his anniversary too recently.
Yeah, I mean, he just had it would have been his 31st birthday on the 25th of October.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a great story, and you're obviously doing a lot of things to help a lot of families, because I do those stories. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
Thanks,
and it's whether it's 500 or 1,000, whatever it is, it's those families love you because of it.
Yeah. I mean, they need it. It's crazy how much the expenses pile up in something like that, and what you need to do. So
I've seen their thank you letters and things like that. You did something, well, not in terms of bicycling, but you marathons, half marathon.
Yep.
When was the last time you kind of did something like that? Crazy for you, because I don't see you running marathons.
No, I don't. I got really bad knees. I did the LA Marathon 2 years ago. Or half marathon 2 years ago. Did that twice, and then previously I'd finished the LA Marathon. I've also done New York City half, Chicago half, and I did the Marine Corps Marathon.
In memory of your son.
Yeah, in memory of my son.
Yeah.
And I'm, I know it's radio, but I'm a big guy, and doing something like this is really unheard of. It's almost comical seeing me out there. Of course, if you could see me out there, you'd see the pain that I'm going through to get done. So it's not that comical, but there are things. Those are things you do for your son.
Right. No question. I get that totally. Okay, I think we're going to go to break here in about a few seconds. Let's go to break. Come back and talk about. We'll talk more about this as well, but we're talking UA football, UA basketball with the breaking news that Devin Dutrieve is no longer on the team, and the sad news that the UA football is still bad.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mike said he's taking me to the U of A game tomorrow, so
Oh,
hopefully I'll be able
Good
to
luck.
stay
Good luck.
awake after my ride.
Well,
see how that
you're
goes.
in the Pac-12 overnight. You get it. You get it. Good luck with that.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera, in with Jim Sowers and Mr. Mike Kwinn. Jim is going to be riding the L Tour 100 mile on a unicycle. Good luck with that, Jim.
Thank you.
So you live in Oakland. You're well aware of the Pac-12 and its misery in football and all that stuff?
woefully not super aware.
Oh, because you're not a.
I don't want to watch a lot of college sports.
Oh, but you watch.
Is that bad?
No, that's fine. Hey, I'm not a sports fan myself. I'm not.
I'm kind of
He just has to watch it because of its job.
It's my job.
some NFL, a fair bit of NBA and tennis.
Yeah, well,
I'm
no
a Nadal
more.
fan.
No more NBA for the next 2-3 years when the Warriors come back.
Till the Warriors come in.
Look, I'm a Californian. I grew up in LA with Mike. I can claim the Lakers and the Clippers now.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can go to another Lakers game.
yeah.
yeah. So, Mike, you
2
have
for
tickets. We're going to talk a little football. U of A football. You have season tickets.
I do.
How's that money spent?
It's fun to watch other games on TV.
In the Sam's Club.
In the Sands Club. It's like they get great food. I'm loving the Sands Club.
It's about
quite
$1,000 a
bit.
game
Exactly.
for food.
Yeah, it's
It's like going to Vegas. How much did that meal cost you? About $12,000.
They're exciting. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the
Who is?
the Arizona. Arizona's been exciting in football. It reminds me of the those old the old football video games where you'd like try and score really fast, and then you wouldn't really pay attention on defense, and then the other team would score, and then you'd get the ball again.
That's pretty much it on defense.
Yeah, it's like we need to. I think we're getting better. I think we need to.
You're getting
we need to shore up
better.
the defense. We need to shore up the defense.
Did you find him where'd you find him? Under a rock or something? Where's he been? They've lost 5 straight games. They look horrible.
Oh,
They need to get better on defense.
They just fired everybody. So
Yeah,
good luck
I
with that.
understand that. They need to get better on defense, but they've needed to get better on defense for a while.
In like 3 years.
Yeah, I know.
Steve, may I ask you a question? Because maybe some of your listeners are in my boat. They don't know what the Pac-12 situation is. Could you give me a quick?
Yeah, sure. Arizona's at the bottom.
Yeah,
We'll start there.
Yeah.
That's not a problem for an Oaklander.
Yeah, there you
No.
go.
Utah's in there. USC. Utah is going to probably win the South and then have to play Oregon for the North in a couple of weeks. Utah comes in this weekend. Surprising, they're only a 10-point favorite over Arizona. They're ranked number 7th, I think, in the country. So
I don't think they're convincing anybody.
because it's Utah. I mean, how?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe-
well, they're not on the TV. No one
Yeah.
sees them anymore.
Well, maybe Arizona's better than you giving them
Oh,
credit for.
No.
Wow.
What are you-
Here I am from out of
What are
town
you- what are you-
sticking
what
up
are you
for
gonna
Arizona.
defend?
He's an apologist.
Yeah,
He's from out of town.
She sits there is like, okay. I want to start out by saying I don't follow college
Right.
sports. Okay, but now what I'd like to do is give you my opinion on
Could you
college
cut his
sports.
mic off, please?
James, Jim, he has a point. He has a point. Welcome to my show.
Exactly.
God.
Just have a point
I'll
in your
stick you
case.
in a
Is this opinion radio? Because I have an opinion regardless of
If
my
I want your
knowledge.
opinion, I'll give it to you. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, no, they're just not any good. They're just not any good. This
No,
year's a bad year,
That's all right.
and it could snowball into next year again, and next year, and good luck with that.
No.
But Mike, I'm teasing Mike because he's been a loyal fan since he got his tickets a few years back. Goes to games, loves the game,
Yep.
and you're still hoping.
Yeah, I mean, every year, hope springs eternal. It's been frustrating, but hopefully, we can turn it around. We need to get better on defense. I mean, that's the key thing. The last couple of years, that's what it's been. We've had some offense.
Mhm.
We've been able to move the ball. We've had a running game. What we've lacked is, I think, is a defense ability to get off the field. Plain and simple.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I follow Army football, and Army football's running the same thing.
Right, but they played teams tough. They played Oklahoma to the wire.
Michigan.
Michigan,
Yeah, they
last
played
year
Oklahoma last year. You probably haven't seen them since then. But
No, I saw them against Michigan. Just forgot.
yeah, Michigan. They had a 50-yard field goal to win it, and in regulation.
Yeah.
And so, so they've had a tough year with injuries. Hopefully, they'll get a little healthy by the end of the year.
Mhm.
But it's same thing. They're just having a hard time getting the the other team off the field, and it's tough to do that.
Let me ask you something, because we both have kids. Do you have kids? No.
Not that I know of.
Not
I
that you
check
know
the
of.
mailbox every Father's Day, but so far
So,
nothing.
well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
So, because you worked with the football program at Army,
at Army,
you're well
very
aware of
closely.
kids and how you harass them. Just
Yeah.
however. The study came out recently, and I've known this for a while, only because I kind of cover the teams.
Mhm.
Anxiety, kids and anxiety at the college
Oh,
level.
yeah,
It's just
right.
huge.
It is.
Huge depression, things like that.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's not a shock to you because of what you did in your previous life.
No, not at all. I mean, you get that a lot. And, so I taught at the military academy for many, many years, and worked at the Army football team, and also the cadets who were not on the football team. And there's a lot of it there. I mean, the expectations are very high,
Mhm.
and
From
pressure.
whom? From themselves or the parents? Or
from parents, the parents are very proud that their kids
Sure.
are going to the military academy, and there's expectations to go there and do really, really well. But you're in the midst of, some very high talented, high performing people, and so it's tough to continually compare yourself to that group, and so pressure's very high. You get a lot of anxiety. It's kind of that time of your life where you have that anxiety
Mhm.
at its peak. So you got to keep an eye on the kids quite a bit. And
I assume, yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen people that have handled it very well, and unfortunately, I've run into a couple that have not handled it very well.
The one thing that I kind of thought, and I'll stand by this, is most of the kids are told they're the best thing since sliced bread, at least athletically,
Mhm.
and they get there, and then they get broken down, and then they got rebuilt, if you will.
I'm not a big fan of the tear them down, rebuild them approach, and I think that we've kind of certainly got away from that at West Point, and hopefully we're getting away. I mean, that's a whole hazing mentality, but I think that there is an issue with people who have been told that they're the best or have always been the best,
Mhm.
and then coming into a situation where they're a middling player.
Mhm.
You get people that show up at West Point that have been all state, the valedictorian, done all this other stuff, and then they get there and they're just middle of the pack. They're not
Mhm.
able to make the team, and they're out there and struggling academically, and that's very difficult. It's very difficult to deal with, especially when you're away from your family in an environment like that.
That's
So-
when you came in, didn't you? That's what you did, kind of.
I helped work with the football team like that. And I worked with cadets who were not on the football team, and tried to work with them to help them along that way. That's one great thing about at West Point. You do have a lot of interaction with the players. So we had 50 faculty members that were just right there with football players
Mhm.
all the time, and you
Mhm.
always have a faculty member, an Army officer that is associated with a sports team or a club team, to keep an eye on them on everything other than the sport itself.
Right.
So,
Well,
which was good.
I just
So-
wanted to bring that up. It's sports related only in the sense that they come here and everyone says, "Oh, you're good, you're good, you're good," and you're not. You're only good as they believe in you, and if somebody else is better,
Right.
you-
Well, I want to take that back. I mean, we've rolled it back into Arizona basketball. We've had I've seen a number of things like on your show or on some of your Twitter feed where people are talking about, so many players leaving
Mhm.
Arizona, and you do run into a situation like that. Sean Miller goes out and recruits some high quality players, and they get here, and it's like, okay, we've got 8 high quality players, and it's like, well, we only got 5 spots on the court and 1 basketball.
Mhm.
That's hard for a lot of these kids, and they are kids.
Yeah, and wouldn't you say that the kids, and we talk about this all the time in terms of recruiting, Arizona's got this and they got that, and they have these new buildings, and it's kids want to play. The kids want to play.
Yeah.
Facilities are something, but they're not everything.
Facilities are good to recruit. Facilities are good to train. But you're right. At the end of the day, that court is all that really matters. That field is all that really matters. You want to be on there. We have a good mutual friend, Paul Peroni, who talks about these guys that come and they are all state, but they're the number 9 player that never sees the court. Why do you stick around at Arizona? Well, you want to be part of a team like that, which is good.
And they think that this is their way to the league.
You get some people that come in and they think this is the way to the league, and it's tough to. Some of them are finding out that there's a lot of things in the way between them and the league.
Talent.
Yeah, talent. Talent,
odds,
ability.
Odds against other players that are better somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the internet and everything's closer, and you can see these people play. But when you get on the court and you realize, like, going, oh my goodness, is that guy fast?
Right.
It matters.
And our guys can't cover them.
Yeah. Well,
okay,
we seem to be playing good, better defense this year.
Yeah, well, not specific to this year, but overall. Let's take a quick break, Tom, and come back on the other side, talk about UA basketball with Bruce Pascoe of the Daily Star.